Good morning, Kids Church. How are we doing? It's Crazy Hat Day. Who has a crazy hat on? I can't see, the lights are blinding. Raise your hand. Just kidding, I can see. Do you like my hat? You know what? I went out and I looked for hats and I shopped all around. I found this one looked exactly like my head. Isn't that awesome? Look, here it is. Look. See that? There's a lot less hair up there than there used to be when I was young. But guess what? You know what the best part about my crazy hat is? It doesn't come off. I tried to get it off and it won't come off. It's stuck. That was a joke. You can laugh. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So, thanks to Pastor D for hanging all these hats up here. Look at these fine hats. Does everybody see these fine hats? So today, we're going to use these hats in our Bible story. Does that sound fun? Who thinks that sounds fun? Woo! That's going to be a good time. So you'll find out about those a little later when we get into the story time, okay? So who can tell me what we've been talking about in here for the last several weeks? You've been given so many clues this morning. If you don't know, you're either dead or sleeping. Who knows? David, what have we been talking about this whole month? Wisdom. That's right. We've been talking about wisdom. And is wisdom is more than just being smart and wise, right? Because anybody can become smart and wise. You can read books. You can go online. You can study. That will make you smart. But that does not make you wise. Do you understand? You have to choose the right choice, like that girl in the video we just saw, right? So wisdom is this. We go to the bottom. Can you go to that slide for me?
No.
Here it comes. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. Okay, again, one more time, all together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Finding out what you should do and doing it. That's what real wisdom is. That's right. Okay, so it's different than knowing something in your brain. Now, I got a pretty funny slide up here. Can everybody see that? Okay, maybe we can turn down the lights a little bit in the back. Could you do that for me just a little bit? Just turn them down. So look at this slide here. There we go. Is that better? Can you see it now? Okay, so what we have here is we have some friends up at the top of a cliff. All right, and they are watching their other friend go down the cliff on his mountain bike. Now this guy on the bike, he's going to find out the hard way what wisdom is and is not real fast, isn't he? Because, you know, I've heard it said that wisdom comes from making good choices, okay, in our lives, making good choices. And we can't make good choices unless we have experiences. This guy's going to experience something, I can tell you that, the guy on the bike. He's going to experience some broken legs, broken arms, probably a broken head. I think he has a helmet on. But he's going to experience, no, I don't even think he has a helmet on. But an experience comes from making bad choices. Is this guy making a bad choice? Yeah. Who wants to volunteer and sign up for riding their bike down the mountain? Really? That many of you? Okay. Can you turn the lights back up a little bit? So wisdom, listen, all right, stay with me. What if we could become wise without making bad choices like this guy? Okay, this is something simple that's probably only going to hurt himself and maybe the people who are taking care of him. But what about like the girl in the video? Huh? She made a wise choice because she didn't go along with what her friends were wanting her to do, right? Okay, so we can learn to become wise by looking at other people's experiences, the things that they do that are bad and foolish. Because if I saw a guy go down a mountain like this and then I went to the hospital to visit him and he was all laid up in a cast with his leg up and all this, I don't think I would go down the mountain on a bike. Because I'm going to learn something from the foolishness of another person. Does that make sense? You learn from other people's mistakes. That's good. Did you ever hear Joe? I love that. So each one of you, if you really want to be wise, you can learn from the people around you, your friends, brothers and sisters, their mistakes. That's what a wise person does. They learn from the mistakes of other people. All right? So that reminds me of a Bible verse. We've already went over it a couple times today. King Solomon wrote this. Who's King Solomon? Who's King Solomon? Yes, you in the orange. Do you remember who King Solomon was? We've been talking about him for several weeks. Okay, that's okay. King of Israel, the wisest man in the world who ever lived. People came from all over to see him, right? To ask him questions. Right, Sam? Right, listen, this is what he wrote. Everybody, listen to this. Anyone who walks with wise people grows wise, but a companion of foolish people suffers harm. What does that mean? Proverbs 13:20. Thanks, Joe. I forgot that. What does that mean? Anybody have an idea? What does it mean? Yes? Shouldn't be foolish. That's right. That's one good thing. Yes, you right here with the crazy hat. Have wisdom all the time. Okay? Look, there's a real important part here that I'm going to read it to you. Anyone who walks with wise people grows wise. Okay? But a companion of foolish people suffers harm. That's the part, okay? The girl in the video, she was being friends. Companion means to be a friend, right? So she was so excited because the popular girls wanted to be her friend. And they were on her basketball team. And she was going to be friends with him. But were they going to do her harm? She was, that's right. And just like the guy on the mountain bike, right? His friends were standing at the top cheering him on. That's more for boys. Boys probably do that because it's kind of dumb. Boys do a lot of silly things to hurt themselves. But I love you boys. I'm a boy. I was a boy. Okay? But girls do different things, right? Girls and boys, they do different stuff. But the point is, if you hang out with people who are foolish, you're going to suffer some sort of harm. Whether it's physical harm, it could be spiritual harm, okay? You could get in trouble at school with your parents, whatever it is. All right, so let's read this one more time. Everybody together. Count of three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Anyone who walks with wise people. Good. Good job. Okay, who knows what a con artist is? Anybody know what a con artist is? Not if you were here first service, though. Yes, you in the red sweatshirt. What's a con artist? That's right. So that's a good definition. It's when people trick you, and they can do anything when they trick you. Take your money, steal from you, just cause you to do something wrong or bad, right? So I got a book here. There was a guy named Frank, and he was a con artist. They wrote a book about his life. And they also made a movie about him in Hollywood because this guy was one of the best con artists in the world. He pretended to be a doctor, he pretended to be an airplane pilot and a lawyer. And we've got a clip for you to watch about his life that they made. Watch this, it's pretty funny.
Thank you very much and welcome to Tell the Truth. Our first guest, he's made a career out of being the most outrageous imposter that we've ever come across on this show. And you're going to see what I mean. From 1964 to 1967, I successfully impersonated an airline pilot for Pan Am Airways. And I flew over 2 million miles for free. During that time, I was also the chief resident pediatrician at a Georgia hospital and an assistant attorney general for the state of Louisiana. By the time I was caught, I was considered the youngest and most daring con man in U.S. history. I had cashed almost $4 million in fraudulent checks in 26 foreign countries and all 50 states. And I did it all before my 19th birthday. My name is Frank William Abagnale.
Wow. Frank, so he was a master con artist. Before he was 19 years old, he did all 3 of those things. So who knows, maybe when you guys go to the doctor next time, maybe you're visiting Frank. If Frank was a pediatrician, that means he's the doctor for you guys, kids, right? He was also pretending to be an attorney, a lawyer, and an airplane pilot. He flew 2 million miles for free. You know how many miles 2 million miles is? Like the Earth is only like 92,000 miles around, so that's a lot of times. A lot of times. So that story, though, reminds me of our story today. We're going to talk about a king, okay? It was King Solomon's son. So Solomon was the smartest person, all right? And we're going to talk about his son when he became king and how he kind of was conned or tricked into believing some advice that, you know what, it wasn't good advice. It wasn't wise advice. And he had to make a decision like Pastor D talked about next door. He had to either choose something good or something bad. And we're going to find out what he did, okay? So today, what we're going to do is I'm going to have my son, Evan's going to come up and he's going to help me with the story, okay?
Evan!
Woo! Evan! All right? And let me explain to you. I'm going to set this up for you. We're going to do. This is your sheet. Okay, wait, I'll give you the go. Here's get that mic. So he's going to kind of be my narrator, which means he's going to read some parts. And then I'm going to go underneath each one of these hats and I'm going to kind of act out the story for you. So you'll have to kind of give me some, some laughing and stuff like that, okay, cheering and stuff. This is going to be the king's hat. This is the king's. This is a guy named Jeroboam, okay. And these are his wise advisors. And over here are the king's friends who they're not very wise. See, we got a pineapple head and a bicycle. helmet. Because this guy fell off his bike too many times, so he's giving really bad advice. So now he's wearing the helmet. Okay? So, before we do that, we got our great slide up here. Let's all do this together and say it. You help me welcome it in. Ready? With a funny noise or something. Funny voice. Let's read it together. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. Great Bible stories from the Bible. Great job. Great job, guys. All right, so here we go. Don't go too fast, okay? Got yours? Ready? All right, Evan's going to start. He's going to take it off. Go ahead.
Many years ago in the land of Israel, there lived a man named Rehoboam. Rehoboam was the son of King Solomon, and after Solomon passed away, Rehoboam was made king. Now, sometime later, a man by the name of Jeroboam and the whole community of Israel went to King Rehoboam with a request. They said, your father put a heavy load on, sorry, I'm supposed to be Rehoboam. Your father put a heavy load on our shoulders, but now make our work easier. Make the heavy load on us lighter. Then we will serve you, O king. For though Solomon had often been a wise king, he was also a hard king, and the people were hoping Rehoboam would be less demanding. Rehoboam considered their request and then responded,
Go away from me for 3 days. Then come back to me, and I will make a decision.
Rehoboam,
Oh,
the king called for his advisors.
Advisors, come in, please. Yes, Rehoboam?
Rehoboam asked the wise advisors for their advice regarding the people's request for the king to lighten the load on them. The wise advisors thought about it.
Sorry? Okay, they tell the king, King, give them what they are asking for, and then they will always serve you.
What the wise advisors knew that if Rehoboam wanted the people to serve him as king, he was going to have to show them kindness to them. Makes sense, right?
Thank you, advisors. You can go. Goodbye, King. Goodbye, King.
Now you would think that the advice of the wise advisors would have been enough. But Rehoboam wanted to ask advice from a few other people first.
Hey, where's my friends, Mr. Pineapple Head and Bicycle Hat? Come on in. I need some help. What's your advice, friends? How should I answer the request of the people?
Rehoboam's friends thought about it and said,
These people say to you, your father put a heavy load on our shoulders. Make it lighter. You know what I say you should do? Tell them, my little finger is stronger than your father's leg. My father put a heavy load on you and on your shoulders, but I will make it even heavier.
Rehoboam's friends actually gave him the opposite advice of the wise advisors. They said that he should make things even harder for the people. Can you believe that? It was pretty foolish advice.
Thanks, Evan. Good job, buddy. Woo, good job, son. So, are you wondering how the story ends? Because that's not the end. Are you wondering how the story ends? All right, I'm going to tell you. So after 3 days had passed, King Rehoboam sent everybody away. He waited 3 days. Common theme in the Bible, 3 days. Jesus was in the grave for 3 days. Lots of other things. Jonah was in the fish for 3 days. Anyway, 3 days. I just threw that in. That was free. 3 days went by, and then Jeroboam comes marching back to the king with all the people of Israel. He says, King, what have you decided? And then, I want to read this to you straight from the Bible. Okay? Then Rehoboam says, because he makes a bad choice and he listened to the foolish friends instead of the wise advisors. He says to them, My father put a heavy load on your shoulders, but I will make it even heavier. My father beat you with whips, but I will beat you with bigger whips. And as a result of his decision, do you know what happened? All of Israel was torn apart. There used to be 12 tribes in Israel. 10 of them decided to rebel against Rehoboam. King Rehoboam, there was war, disasters, fighting. Rehoboam lost most of his land, most of his people, his money, possessions. Okay, and the 10 tribes, they left. And they were not going to serve him anymore. There was total chaos and turmoil in the land of Israel. You know, Rehoboam's kingdom never was the same. Because he decided at one point in time to not listen to those wise advisors over here. They told him, listen to what Jeroboam has asked. Give the people an easier load and then they'll always serve you. But then he says, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do what I want to do and what my friends said I should do. Remember what they said? Tell them that your little pinky finger is stronger than your dad's leg was, right? And he said, be harder on him. That's what he told him to do, be harder on him. So that's what he did, and then there was complete chaos. We're going to watch a little video clip real quick.
After Solomon died, his son Rehoboam became king. All the Israelites came to him and said, your father worked us very hard. If you are more kind to us, we'll follow you as our king.
That seems like a good deal.
Yes, it was. So Rehoboam went to his friends, the guys he'd been partying with in high school, and asked them what he should do. They said, hey man, you're the king. Show them who's boss. So Rehoboam went back to the Israelites and said, you think my dad worked you hard? Wait till you see how hard I'm gonna make you work. The Israelites said to Rehoboam, and I'm paraphrasing, "Phooey on you! We're not going to follow you anymore." And they made Jeroboam their new king.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up real quick. So, who you listen to matters in your life, right? Just like the king, he had a choice. Listen to wise people or foolish people. Let's read this together. Okay? Because if we want to be wise, we need to hang out with wise people, right? Let's say it together. If you want to be wise, hang out with wise people. All right? When you hang out with wise people, you become like them. Hang out with foolish people, you're going to do foolish things. You're going to have harm come your way.